In the headlines, Prime Minister Skerrit and opposition leader Lennox Linton do not see eye to eye on the impact of protest action on the image of the country. The UWP leader rejects suggestions his party is not ready for elections with the 30th November launching of its manifesto. And the Dominican shows strong support against child abuse. I'm Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting for people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, Bishop of Roseau, Gabriel Malzer, is lamenting the fact that the Code of Conduct issued by the Dominica Christian Council has not been signed by all the relevant institutions. Julian Morris has that story.
The Code of Conduct outlines the manner in which the clergy, Dominican electorate, politicians and the media are to conduct themselves during an election season. Speaking to the media on Wednesday, Bishop of Roseau, His Lordship Gabriel Malzer, said to date the Code of Conduct has not been signed by all the necessary parties. Representatives of the Dominica Labour Party, United Workers' Party, Dominica Freedom Party, Dominica Christian Council, the Dominica Association of Evangelical Churches and the Media Association are to be signatories to the code.
No, it has not happened. In fact, we had invited last week. We were supposed to do that, but there was no show up. So we didn't receive responses at the right time. So we were not able even to get to the media houses to invite them after the political parties had agreed. So there was communication problems, and it didn't happen. And I just felt that at this point, things are so close to election, people seem to be too busy. with their campaigning.
The bishop says he's saddened by the behavior of the Dominican public on Monday night, following what started off as a peaceful protest in Goodwill, which then moved into Roseau.
To me, it's a very sad situation. That's as much as I would say. It's a very sad situation. And I think we need to work towards correcting it, because it's not a nice feature at all. I think everybody deserves a peaceful election, and everybody is looking forward to a peaceful election, because the loss of Dominica is the loss of absolutely every single person. So we have to, and I have invited the Catholic congregation to pray in preparation for that day, and to fast and pray and to dispose themselves to something peaceful. Anything other than that is not worthy of what we're doing.
Election date is set for Friday, 6 December, and Malze is doubtful the code of conduct will be signed before then.
In more top stories, Prime Minister Skerrit says Dominica will have to wait to see how much damage was done to the tourism sector based on images sent around the world of Monday night's protest in the city. The Prime Minister says images from Monday night's protest could also impact investors' plans.
We will have to wait now and see if the cruise ships will abandon the calls on Dominica during the vital December and January peak period. We shall wait to see what impact this lawlessness and unwarranted behavior shall have on overall visitor arrivals during the crucial next few months, and which investment projects shall be halted out of fear of disruption and destruction.
Mr. Skerrit has also expressed concern about the resumption of the burning of items on the Salisbury Main Road. He places the blame at the feet of the United Workers' Party, a charge the UWP has refuted.
This is the approach of the current leadership of the United Workers' Party to conflict resolution. Whatever is the issue, their first order of business is violence and destruction of our beautiful island. Today, they marvel as Dominica is portrayed to the world as a violent, unstable country, not worthy of investment, not worthy of its business or recreational visits, and not worthy of investment citizenship. We are told that all this is the prelude to a series of salacious newspaper, radio, and television articles and documentaries, all portraying Dominica in a negative light. So the opposition is not telling us what they would do to build up Dominica. They are clearly concerned at this time with tearing Dominica down. On this current trajectory, no matter the outcome of the upcoming general elections, Dominica will be the ultimate loser in all this. As Prime Minister, I strongly condemn the actions and conduct of the United Workers' Party and its supporters. The economy of Dominica will take a major hit from all the violence and antisocial behavior being pursued by the opposition in the lead-up to these elections. I call on them, if they really do care about our country, Dominica, to consider the impact of their actions and conduct are having on the image of the country and the safety and well-being of residents and visitors alike.
Mr. Skerrit says Dominica has a history of free and fair elections.
This election should be and will be no different unless the UWP is determined to introduce a new level of danger, violence, risk, and damage to persons, to property, and to Dominica's reputation in the international community. Such conduct also puts the country's economy at risk. We now have to be concerned about whether tourists are safe, whether they feel safe. How many of the tourists at Fort Young may now want to leave Dominica? At the beginning of this election, I called for peace, order, respect for each other, and for property. The church in Dominica made similar calls. Today, I repeat those calls and urge for the level of irrationality and irresponsibility being demonstrated by the UWP and its supporters to stop. The UWP must distance itself from this recklessness and call its supporters to halt such further actions. No responsible political party which is seeking to form a government would engage in this kind of dangerous conduct. No one who cares about or loves Dominica could be part of this or want it for our country. I appeal to our churches, civic organizations, and law-abiding Dominicans all over our country, and those in the diaspora to condemn this despicable behavior.
Due to the current situation, the DAIC has decided to postpone its 2019 Business Sustainability Symposium until further notice. The notice emphasized that the safety of all attendees is important. In more developments, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Lennox Linton, is shooting down suggestions that his party's 30th November launching of its manifesto shows how ill-prepared the party is for the December 6th general elections. The UWP plans to launch its manifesto on the 30th of November.
Curtis Matthew, for you and others who believe that the launch of the manifesto of the United Workers' Party on the 30th indicates that we're not ready for the election, then clearly you are entitled to that opinion. It's a democracy, it's a free society, and we're happy to hear of your freely expressed opinion. But the date on which we launched the manifesto has absolutely nothing to do with our state of readiness for election. The ruling party has been getting itself ready for elections for 9 months. That preparation has been funded by hundreds of millions of dollars from the sale of Dominican passports.
Speaking at a news conference on Tuesday, here is what the opposition leader had to say on the impact of Monday night's protest action on the image of Dominica.
I heard this gentleman, this gentleman who is leaving the office of Prime Minister, talking about the image of the country and how the image of the country is impacted by protest action. And tourists will not want to come to Dominica, and investors will not want to invest. Well, we have a so-called investor here. They were supposed to come with money, but they used our own passport money. And rather than put their hundreds of millions, they went away with our hundreds of millions. And now they're tied up in international courts. Fighting for their share of our Dominica passport money. Roosevelt Square believes that does no injury to the image of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Les moun ki ni TB estene e ben tout se, moun ki en bonne santé oli wen ka respire se vermine la. Moun ki pa ni bon tempérament kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, ka fumer, ti mamay e grand moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun ki ka tousse ni pou prendre précaution le yo en parmi moun en place publique, couvert bouche ou le ka estene et tousse. Visitez docteur et ben place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa joine guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout si men maladie TB et HIV, protéger corps et les autres.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Welcome back. Dominicans turned out in their numbers to show support to the movement to stop child abuse. Julian Morris has more.
A number of activities were held on Wednesday, observed as International Children's Day. Channel 5 News met up with coordinator of the West Dominica Children's Federation downstairs of the government headquarters, who was hosting an event dubbed Stamp Your Hand to Stamp Out Abuse.
This is something we did before that we know was very popular with the public, and it's today we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Convention of the Rights of the Child, and we just thought that we couldn't let it go without doing something that says this is something to be celebrated. Our work not only focuses on saying no to child abuse, but it also focuses on empowering children so they themselves will be strong enough and empowered enough to stand up for themselves against any form of abuse. So our work goes both ways. It's to empower them to say no, and also to raise awareness and be an advocate to let people know that this is something that we need to stamp out.
Barron says coming out of the day's activities, she hopes adults and children will be left with the resounding message that child abuse is not okay.
They will remember that International Children's Day is a day that's something that you need to do something special on that day in particular. Even if you don't do it, they say Children's Day is every day because you look after children. But on the day, you need to commemorate it with an activity that says, this is what we're doing. We're standing up against child abuse.
One of the parents who turned out to support the event also spoke to Channel 5 News. He believes Wednesday's event was a good initiative.
I'm a father, and I'm very much concerned for protection of children. And I consider myself as to be one of the best fathers on planet Earth. And I'm very worried because men are taking advantage of children, right? And children should be allowed to grow as children and not to be used and abused, especially sexually.
This year marks the 30th anniversary of the Convention on the Rights of the Child.
A newly resurfaced Rosa Market by the end of the year. We again join Julian Morris, who explains.
This as a project being undertaken by the Rosa Market Authority nears completion. According to Superintendent of the Market Kishma Regis, the project is being undertaken due to the damage caused to the Rosa Market floor from past natural disasters.
Right now we are currently resurfacing the Rosa Market grounds. And later on we are going to construct 6 booths that were severely damaged during Hurricane Maria. The plan was actually to do a certain section of the grounds first, which was going to be just where the booths were going to be located. But however, since we had already relocated the vendors to another venue, we figured we just want to do everything at the same time so that we would not have to be moving them around too many times. So that is why we actually taking a little bit longer than we anticipated. The actual project commenced, I think, on the 19th of August, and it was expected to be completed somewhere around October 15th.
Since the start of the project in August, vendors have been relocated to different parts of the Rosa Market grounds. Regis says due to the scope of works having been expanded, it is taking longer to return the vendors to their original location.
The vendors have been relocated to the parking lot, which is near the Fisheries Complex, and also the vendors who vend on Fridays and Saturdays have been relocated to Lang Lane. And I'll be completely honest, they are complaining because they figure that the work is taking a bit too long, because in the first interim we explained to them that they would have been here up until the 15th of October, but because of the modifications and the change in the actual project and scope of works, we actually had to leave them there for a little bit longer. And we do hope that when they return back to the original area, they will even forget about that that they were even actually ever in the parking lot.
Apart from vendors being affected, motorists are also unable to use the section of riverbank which runs adjacent to the Rosa Market.
They are unable to pass. The road is impassable. Presently, there are various projects being undertaken by different organizations, inclusively the government in that area. One is being undertaken by the WASCO and the other, the government. They have completed the wall for the river, but however, the road has to be resurfaced also. So this is what is ongoing now, and so for that reason, the road has to remain impassable or blocked.
And Prime Minister Skerrit says building a dynamic Dominica, as depicted in the party's manifesto, is a task for all Dominicans. The Prime Minister says a Labour government would not be able to accomplish this task alone.
The manifesto of the Labour Party strives for unity amongst Dominicans everywhere. We are one people, forged by our historical circumstances, and we must work together for a prosperous common future. Under the Labour Party, the task of bringing about the new dynamic Dominica is the dream of us all, and it is the work for us all. We have a responsibility to each other and to the country to work to build dynamic Dominica. It cannot happen on its own. No fairy godparents are standing by with their magic wand. This means that we must work to build her up. Do not look at other countries and envy them. Let us work together to build dynamic Dominica up so they can envy us.
The Prime Minister says the nation is already on its way towards building that dynamic Dominica.
Dominica is ahead with the best, most resilient public housing in the entire Caribbean. And we are the only government that also provides furniture for houses. Dominica is ahead with climate resilient construction, climate change adaptation, and disaster risk preparedness. Dominica is ahead with some of the most advanced technology and diagnostic capacity in our new hospital at Goodwill, and the 12 new clinics that Dr. Irvin McIntyre will tell you about later. While we complain without considering how far we have come from, people here in the region and all over the world are looking on and admiring us in Dominica.
The 2019 manifesto, Dynamic Dominica, is divided into several sections, including building resilience, the Prime Minister's signature initiative.
While most people think of resilience in the environmental context, the manifesto seeks to create resilience building in a social and economic context. It is the goal of the Labour Party that I lead to build something valuable, sustainable, and enduring. Our national infrastructure has to sustain the people who live in our society. The economy must sustain the infrastructure and the people. It is the people who must build the infrastructure and build productive capacity into the economy. It is the people who must choose social harmony over dishonesty and discord. Under the Labour Party, Dominica will become the Caribbean's model of global sustainability and best practices.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and the opposition leader Lennox Linton do not see eye to eye on the impact of protest action on the image of the country. The UWP leader rejects suggestions his party is not ready for elections with its 30th November launching of its manifesto. And the Dominican shows strong support against child abuse. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.